In the last episode, the two sisters, Beatrix and Abigail, were waiting for the return of their two brothers, Wei Han and Leslie, after their 7-year-long business trip to the US.
Press ah.
So how was your trip? Haven't seen you two in more than 5 years. It's crazy.
It was good, really enriching and very eventful. A lot happened in the economy when I was there. I almost lost my job in the global recession in 2009.
Yeah, and I was very busy with my forecasting and data analysis.
Really? Do share your experience with us. I just began reading an economics magazine and it'll be good to know more.
Well, our main focus on the trip was our analysis on international finance and trade. So we mostly analysed the balance of payments and exchange rates of the US. Throughout the period we were there, from 2005 to 2012.
Yeah, the US was facing a deficit throughout, but there was a decreasing trend in the deficit during the period. From 2008 to 2009, there was the sharpest decrease in the deficit during this period. There was a decrease in the deficit from negative $702,302 million to negative $383,657 million. Then, how was Singapore's BOP doing?
The economy was doing pretty well back at home. There was a general increase in Singapore's BOP from 2008 to 2012, but there was also a slight decrease between 2008 and 2009. Following that though, there was a sharp increase in the BOP from 2009 to 2010.
Wait, let me go and take my econs magazine that I've been reading. Yeah, from what I've been reading, there's a sharp increase between 2009 and 2010, was by more than $40 billion.
The current and capital accounts have also been doing fairly well. I suppose much better than that of the US.
Yeah, during this period of time while you were gone, the current account balance was increasing steadily from 2009 to 2010. Again, there was a sharp increase in the current account surplus from 48,700.1 million to 84,572.3 million.
You're right about the US economy's condition. From 2005 to 2009, the USA was experiencing continuous deficit on the current account. Since 2006, the current account deficit started to decline. This reflects the effects of the Great Recession.
You mentioned almost losing your job just now, right? Was that why?
Yep.
But recession is somewhat good for trade. In a recession, consumer spending falls, so spending on imports decreases, interest rates are cut, therefore exchange rate depreciates, making exports cheaper and imports more expensive. This reduction in exchange rates improves the current account, which helped the US.
But it was kind of a bad period for Singapore. Starting 2007, net exports plunged as imports decreased at a slower rate than exports. Direct exports fell as demand slowed. This caused a decline in immediate exports, which formed the bulk of Singapore's trade with regional markets. There was also an appreciation of Singapore dollars against other Asian countries, which meant that local exporters found it more difficult to compete with regional competitors. This led to lower economic activities.
Towards the end of 2008, lowered economic activity and business sentiments led to hiring hiring freezes, wage pressures, and redundancies. The low employment rate led to a decrease in production of goods and services, which adversely affects the imports and exports of goods and services. The current account surplus still remained low in 2009 due to the global recession that was led up by the global financial crisis of 2007 and 2008.
But I suppose the reason 2009 and 2010 was good for Singapore's BOP was because 2010 was a year of strong recovery. The Singapore economy recovered strongly alongside improving global economic conditions. In the 12 months to March 2010, all of the output lost during the financial crisis had been recovered, with the strong GDP expansion, trade industries and business services increased.
The US wasn't recovering well from the global financial crisis, though. The deficit increased from 2009 to 2011, but it was only in 2012 where it began to fall. In 2009, the current account balance was negative $381,638 million, and the figure for 2011 was negative $457,729 million. The deficit fell from that figure to negative $440,423 million by 2012. This was because trade fell. During a period of recession, people lose their jobs, and some fall into bankruptcy. Those who are lucky enough to keep their jobs definitely also have lower purchasing power. When the economy isn't doing well, production falls significantly. Exports are likely to fall, leading to the deficit in the current account.
And if you are wondering about the capital account, from 2005 to 2012, USA has been experiencing continuous surplus on the capital account. There is a general increase in the surplus. Investments made by the domestic economy in foreign assets were greater than foreign investment in the domestic assets. By 2009, people began investing heavily in gold, bonds and US dollar or euro currency. And in 2009, US President Obama proposed federal spending in an attempt to improve the state of financial crisis. Thus, there is an increase in investment expenditure on foreign assets.
At least the USA had a surplus. Singapore's capital account has been facing constant deficit, and the deficit has been fluctuating throughout the 5 years, with a pattern of a decrease in net outflow, followed by an increase. There was also a sharp increase in the net outflow between 2010 and 2011, from negative 30,505.9 to negative $55,600.3.
I suppose all the fluctuations and changes in the BOP for US and Singapore both have some link to the exchange rates. From what I know so far, when Singapore's exchange rate appreciates, assuming exports and imports are price elastic, volume of exports is likely to fall as exports become dearer. However, the volume of imports is likely to rise as imports become cheaper to locals. Hence, the debits is likely to outweigh the credits, and balance of trade in the current account will face a deficit. Assuming the capital and financial account remains unchanged, the BOP will face a deficit, and vice versa.
That's true. The current account deficit will also cause currency to depreciate to make exports relatively cheaper and imports more expensive. This will allow the value of exports sold to rise and value of imports bought to fall, eliminating the deficit.
So, you guys have any insights towards the economic situation for the coming year?
I do. I read somewhere that in 2014, the global economy will improve slightly, and there will be a slow recovery in the US and Eurozone. In Asia and in Singapore, growth is likely to remain moderate. The Singapore economy is expected to grow by 2 to 4% in 2014. Therefore, the BOP, current account and capital account is expected to have a slight increase from 2013, and the Singapore SGD exchange rate is also expected to improve.
I don't have an exact idea, but I think that the current account may face a greater deficit in the future. this year because recovery is going to be pretty slow, but I think the USD exchange rate will appreciate too. So the capital account looks like it may do well because this will probably attract a greater volume of investments.
Okay, I'm pretty tired of economics. Can we have a great dinner now?
Sure, let's eat.